Thank you so much, Kun Akawat, for being in with us today, CPG.
Yeah, thank you so much too for inviting me.
So we would like to ask you about the business and human rights. So we want to know the background information about BHR.
BHR is an international instrument that has drafted by a group of experts that has been assigned a task by the UN, United Nations. So the instrument is something unique and peculiar in itself because in the past we did not have the instrument that merged two areas together. I mean, human rights and business. And normally the people thought of both system as something separated from each other, whereas like the practical settings and practical context requires the interactions between these two set of rules and norms. When you do the business, you need to confront with a lot of human rights issues, either within the organizations or outside of the organizations. Like you have to interact with your board members, with your employees and the people in the organizations, how to treat them nicely. And you have to interact with your customer outside of the organization.
Internally and externally.
Yeah, of course. Whether you service them sufficiently, you did treat them nicely. This is human rights issue.
Well, because what you say could be a business way. They treat them well in order to get the benefit, right? For human rights issue is something separately. Just my understanding.
When we talk about the business, we cannot avoid talking about the benefits, something that can be calculated, in money, and but sometimes it's hard to calculate. Or sometimes it can be calculated. There are some empirical studies. In not so far away from here. It's just in Thailand. We had something very similar to the BHR, but we have implemented this kind of thing like long time ago, about 10 years.
What is that?
It's kind of the standards. And soft law is not actually the legal measures. It's the standard that has been established by the Ministry of Industry. Industrial Ministry, I'm not sure how to translate correctly in English language, but we have this ministry. They have to regulate, the behaviors of the factories. They have to regulate on the EIA and, the ways, any other ways that these factories, these companies going to treat people surrounding in the area. The ministry has established the standard. What we have learned from this is that after the companies and the factories have complied with these standards, there are a lot of good things. People stop demonstrating against them. People stop litigating, stop suing them before the court. They respect these companies, and they have a very good relationship with the people in the area. And also the people within the organization, when they treat them nicely, they stay with you guys like for long. So you got the loyalty from the employee. So they contribute themselves for you. They love your organization. They love you. So this is something that automatically happen. It's hard to calculate into the money, but you get the benefits from the people when you treat them nicely. And this is human rights.
So it works for the company to invest or carry on this kind of cost?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's something that you cannot see in the short term, but 5 years, 10 years, you're going to see the difference. Yeah, not only in Thailand, in some other country as well. Yeah, and in the opposite, if you don't treat them nicely, or sometimes they don't have clear rules or clear standards, you're gonna get a bad feedback from people.
Oh, sure.
Like United Airlines in US.
That's
after you have seen once they need to select a passenger, because the plane is overloaded and they have to select one passenger outside of the plane, and and they use force, the security came, the bodyguard came and then took an Asian guy, outside of the airplane, and the United Airlines got bad reactions, not only from the Asian people but also from the Caucasian people within the country. People a large number of them prefer not to book the United Airlines. They prefer to go to other airlines. Yeah, so this is, the kind of an example that, shows you, how bad it's going to be if you don't, respect the human rights of the people. Yeah.
Very interesting. So one more question is that for the perspective of investor, would it be valuable for them if they see the company having the BHR models?
Yeah, of course. The investor you mean, I'm not sure like how to define this, but I can, we can give some examples. Okay, for example, if you are the investor, you are a portfolio investor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you are not a real investor, do the FDI or something, foreign direct investment, but you invest the money on the company. And right now, the perspective of the investor have been significantly changed. Before they're gonna invest, they buy the shares, they buy the stocks from the company.
Well.
They have to see the performance of this company, whether or not they treat the people nicely within organizations, like they do well like with the corporate social responsibility. If not, with the same conditions, they're gonna go to buy share from other company.
Who satisfy the conditions?
Yeah, of course. So this kind of human rights thing, can be counted as a factor of the considerations. Kind of like a new factor. They're gonna consider before they invest their money. I mean, like in terms of portfolio investment. Yeah.
Really?
For me, you don't need to give other example. Me myself.
Yes.
If I want to buy the stock, buy the shares. If you guys did a bad job, treat people badly, I'm not going to buy your shares.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I'm not going to buy your stocks. Yeah.
But to implement the BHR models in any company, is there any limitation in you?
Yeah. An apparent limitation is about the level of enforceability, because like this is the soft law instrument.
Okay.
It does not have the legal binding effect. With this limitation, I think that the state or the government still has to do something to encourage people to follow this. You can do through hortatory measures, like if the companies follow these kind of standards, you're gonna get a tax reduction, the tax benefits, or any kind of benefits, or you may do something very similar to industrial ministry that they do. They give the reward to these companies, like the factories that follow the standard, the EIA standard and human rights standard. You can do a lot of things, or something that is very serious. You can impose criminal measures against them as you want. I don't know. It depends on the state. Depends on your calculation.
It also depends on how much state really care about the human rights, right?
Of course, yeah. I'm proud to say that our country care very much about human rights, and we already have the national action plan that translate and also transpose the idea within the BHR into the national action plan. We are one of the countries that are the most active, in the sub-region Southeast Asia and also in Asia. We have something that are very similar, and we have done that, some decades before.
Wow.
The establishment, the adoption of the BHR.
So thank you so much for your time.
Okay, of course. Thank you so much as well.